ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहं। सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। क्वणत्काञ्चीदामा करिकलभकुम्भस्तननता परीक्षीणा मध्ये परिणतशरच्चन्द्रवदना धनुर्बाणान् पाशं श्रुणिमपि दधाना करतलैः पुरस्ताद् आस्तां नः पुरमतितराहो पुरुषिका। Happy New Year, everybody. Let this New Year be very happy, safe and healthy for all of us. Let us see Lalita Sahasranamam. We have to see from shloka number 90. Chitshaktis Chetana Rupa, Jadashaktir Jadatmika. These are the namas we were seeing. Chit Shakti Chetana Rupa, Jadashakti Jadatmika. So these four namas tell Ambal to be everything in this universe. In Sanatana Dharma, we don't believe in one size fits for all. There is a concept called as one size fits for all. You just have one thing and everybody has to accept that concept. In Sanatana Dharma, we don't follow that. We don't agree with that. Because after all, in our the 5 fingers in our hands, they all are of different sizes. In a family, for breakfast, one person will like idli dosa, other person will like cereals, other person will like pongal, other person will like pizza for breakfast. So we don't know. So even in a family, if there are of diverse of opinion, how can we force one opinion about Bhagavan? We just cannot do that. And if somebody forces just one opinion about Bhagavan, Bhagavan is this, everybody has to agree with this, then it won't be appealing. It cannot be eternal. You know, that dharma can never be eternal. That is why our dharma is called as Sanatana Dharma, because it has gradations. What level is the sadhaka? What is the level of sadhaka? And depending upon that sadhaka's level, we introduce certain concepts. It is like a student going to a school. You know, when we go to school, in lower standards, they won't even introduce, let's take mathematics, for example. They will teach addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. In lower grades, the problems will only be of, let us say, subtraction, for example. The problem will only be of what is 100 minus 50? What is 2 minus 1? What is 5 minus 3? That's what the teachers will teach. That is what the student will also get themselves familiarized with. They will never teach what is 2 minus 5 to a 1 grader. They will never teach how to calculate 50 minus 100 to the first grader, because it is going to be confusing for him. But as he progresses, as he goes to higher grades, slowly they will introduce the concept of negative numbers. What is 50 minus 100? What is 1 minus 2? What is 25 minus 100? They will introduce it. And then as he goes, they will introduce even complex mathematical subjects, such as complex numbers, fractions, imaginary numbers, all those things, differential calculus, all those things will be introduced as the students progress. Just because the science has all these concepts It does not mean that all the concepts have to be introduced to a first grader. It's tailored fit. So first grader, he has this much mental capacity. So let us just introduce this concept to him. It does not mean 50 minus 100 does not exist. 50 minus 100 exists, but not for the first grader. Complex number, square root of -1 exists, but it is not for the 8th grader. You have to progress. You have to work your way through in order to understand the complexities of even mathematics, science, anything. In the same way, in our Sanatana Dharma, the religion is introduced in 3 ways. The religion is introduced. The concept of Bhagavan is introduced in 3 different steps. What are the 3 different steps? First is Ekarupa Ishvara. Okay, there is one name. There is one form for Ambal. There is one name for Ambal. You take up that name. You do japa of that name. You do meditation of that Ambal. You don't have to worry about anything else. It can be Ambal. It can be Parameshwara. It can be Mahavishnu. It can be Mahaganapati. It can be Shasta. It can be Skanda. It does not matter. We don't care. As long as you are sticking with that Ekarupa Ishvara, it is fine for you. And how can I have an Ishtadevata? I can have a lot of Ishtadevata. One person will have Ishtadevata of Ambal. One person will say Shiva as my Ishtadevata. One person will say Krishna as my Ishtadevata. We don't worry. Whatever form you like, you do meditation upon that God. Sanatana Dharma has got numerous gods in numerous permutation combination. You have human body, animal head, we have a form. We have animal body, human head, we have a form. We have half male, half female, we have a form. Yeah, whatever form you want, whatever form you can imagine, the way the rishis have given all of them to us. Because, like as I said before, everybody in the family have got different preferences just for food. If you want their mind to be with Bhagavan, then you cannot restrain them to one God, one name. So that is why we have many different gods. You are free to choose any of those gods as long as you are sticking with what you want. So that is called as Ekarupa Ishvara. The next step of Ekarupa Ishvara is called as Vishwarupa Ishvara. Okay, now I understand that my God does not necessarily only be present in the temple. My God does not necessarily be only present in an yantram. My God does not necessarily be present only in a vigraha, but I see the same Bhagavan everywhere. Wherever I see, I can only see Bhagavan. It can be Krishna. It can be Ambal. Engangu Kaninum Shaktiyada. பாரதியார் பாடினர், காக்கை சிறகினிலே நந்தலாலா உந்தன் கரிய நிறம் தோன்றுதடா நந்தலாலா, கேட்கும் ஒலிகள் எல்லாம் நந்தலாலா உந்தன் கீதமிசைக்குதடா நந்தலாலா, பார்க்கும் நிறங்கள் எல்லாம் நந்தலாலா உந்தன் பச்சை நிறம் தோன்றுதடா நந்தலாலா, தீக்குள் விரலை வைத்தால் நந்தலாலா உன்னை தீண்டும் இன்பம் தோன்றுதடா நந்தலாலா. says Bharatiyar, it can be Krishna. உண்ணும் சோறு பருகும் நீர் தின்னும் வெற்றலை எல்லாம் கண்ணனே அப்படின்னு நம்மாழ்வார் பாடுறார். சர்வம் விஷ்ணுமயம் ஜெகத்து, சர்வம் சிவமயம் ஜெகத்து, ஆபாதால நபஸ்தலாந்த புவன பிரம்மாண்டமாவிஸ்புரத்து ஜோதிஸ்பாட்டிகலிங்க மௌலி விலசத் பூர்ணேந்து வாந்தாமிருதைகின ஆபாதால நபஸ்தலாந்த புவனம் பிரம்மாண்டம் ஆவிஸ்புரத்து அப்படின்னு ருத்ரத்துல சொல்ற, ருத்ர தியானத்துல. So we progress from seeing Bhagavan at a particular place, at a particular time, to seeing Bhagavan everywhere, all the time. That is called as Vishwarupa Ishvara. So you need to do a lot of Ekarupa Upasana. You need to do a lot of Ekarupa Bhakti in order to progress to Vishwarupa Bhakti. Normally, we calculate progress, we calculate academic progress, we correlate academic progress with their age. Okay, LKG, you teach them A, B, C, D, E. You teach them some rhymes. Fifth standard, you teach them complex, some complex mathematical operations. Grade 11, you teach them differential calculus. And then master's, PhD, you teach them fuzzy logic, all quantum mechanics, everything. So that is what normally we do. We correlate progress with age. But spiritual progress is not correlated with age. Spiritual progress is correlated with your janma, because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, hey Arjuna asks Krishna, hey Krishna, what about a person who has made a lot of spiritual progress, but at one point of time, due to some unforeseen circumstances, he dies without attaining moksham? What is the what is going to happen to him? He has worked his way through, but for some reason, because of his karma, he just could not attain moksha. What can happen? For that, Krishna says, hey Arjuna, don't worry. I am the one who has designed this universe. What did I do? I put a pause button. Just like how in video games, once you go to a certain level, there will be many lives. You go to a certain level, you die, you don't have to go back to level 1 in video game. You will just have to go back to that pause point. There will be a point, and then you don't have to go back all the way through the starting. You will just go back to that level, and then in the second life, you will progress from that level to even more further. In the same way, Krishna says in Gita, hey Arjuna, for those yoga brashtas, he calls them as yoga brashtas. Those people who have worked their way through, their spiritual progress, but for some unforeseen reasons, they die before obtaining moksha. So Krishna says, for those people, I have given a pause point. So when they take their next janma, they don't have to start from A, B, C, D, E, but they can continue from wherever they have left, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So our spiritual progress is measured in terms of number of janma that has gone through. Everything does not come in one janma. We have worked for a lot of janma, and we might be working for even more janmas in order to get moksha. So in that spiritual progress, you have to go from Ekarupa Bhakti to Vishwarupa Bhakti. Vishwa means this universe. Vishwarupa Bhakti, Bhagavan is present in this universe as each and every blessed thing. That is called as Vishwarupa Bhakti. And then from Vishwarupa Bhakti, you have to go to Advaita Bhakti, obtaining Bhagavan in as one's own self. Arupa Bhakti or Advaita Bhakti, you have to progress. So in Lalita Sahasranama, we see namas for all these three different types of bhakti. Ragasvarupa Pashadya Krodhakara Ankushojjvala Mano Rupekshukodanda Panchatanmatra Sayaka Nijaruna Prabhavura Majjad Brahmanda Mandala Sampakashoka Punnaga Saugandhikala Satkaya Kuruvinda Manishreni Kanat Koti Ramandita Ashtami Chandra Vibraja Dalikastala Shobita Ambal Sthula Swarupam, Ambal Sukshma Swarupam, Ambal Mantra Swarupam, Ambal Swarupam of Kundalini. Everything has been described before. And then Chichaktis Chetana Rupa, Jadashaktir Jadatmika, Vishwarupa, Jagarini, Swapanti, Taijasatmika, Sukta, Pragnatmika, Turya, Sarvavastha Vivarjita, Srishtikartri, Brahmarupa, Goptri, Govinda Rupini, Samharini, Rudra Rupa, Tirodhana Karishwari, Sada Shivanugrahata, Panchakritya Parayana, Bhanumandala Madhyastha, Bhairavi, Bhagamarini. All the blessed things that are present in this universe is said to be Ambar. There is also Advaita Bhakti, all those namas, the last namas that we have seen, last couple of namas that we have seen, Aprameya, Shvaprakasha, Manovacham Agoshara, Nirguna, Nishkala, Nitya, Nirakara, Nityarupa, Nirupaplava, all these things are Advaita Bhakti. So we see several grades of spiritual progress. So Chitshaktihi, Chetana Rupa, Jadashaktihi, Jadatmika. It describes the Ambal's Vishwarupam. Ambal's Vishwarupam. Because in this universe, what do we see? We can classify the entire universe into two entities. depending upon their consciousness levels that they exhibit. Depending upon the consciousness that they exhibit, the entire objects, the entire things in the universe can be classified into two things. One, things with consciousness, things that express consciousness, and two, things that don't express consciousness. And things that express consciousness are called as Chetana Vastu, because Chaitanyam is conscious, is consciousness. I am conscious. I have, I can feel the things that are surrounding me. I can make decisions. So I am conscious. You guys are all conscious, but this table is not conscious. This mic is not conscious. Even though the computer has got certain artificial intelligence, the computer is not conscious. So the conscious entities are called as Chetana Vastus. The unconscious entities, those entities which do not express any consciousness, they are called as Jada Vastu or Achetana Vastu. Chetana, things with consciousness. Achetana, things that don't express consciousness. Jada Vastu. Ambal is present as both the Chetana Vastu and the Jada Vastu. The Shakti, what is the thing that differentiates the Chetana Vastus? It is Chaitanyam. Chit Shaktihi. Adna solra. Ambal is consciousness. Chit Shaktihi. Ambal is Chetana Rupa. All the Chaitanyam, all the Vastus that express consciousness. All the Vastus that express consciousness are called as Chetana Rupa. I am a Chetana. You are a Chetana. The animal, everything, it does not, they might have smaller consciousness, they might express consciousness in a smaller way, in a limited way, but still even they have some consciousness. Even plants have got some consciousness, says science. So Ambal is the Chetana Rupa. Ambal is the Chit Shakti, the consciousness entity. Ambal is Chetana Rupa. She is in the form of all the conscious beings. Jada Shakti, Jadatmika. Jada Shakti, the inertness of all the inert entities. The unconscious entities, they have a certain inertness. What is that inertness? They are there. They have an existence. We are not talking about things that don't have any existence. The mic, it exists. The table, it exists. It might not be conscious, but it exists. And in order to exist, it has to be blessed by Ambal. The Jada Shaktitvam of Ambal, the Jada Shaktitvam, the Jadatvam of this mic, the Jadatvam of this computer, the Jadatvam of this table is also Ambal, Jada Shakti, and then Jadatmika. Ambal is in the form of all the Jada Vastus as well. Chit Shakti, Chetana Rupa, Jada Shakti, Jadatmika. Ambal is everything. Ambal is everyone. Ambal is. Everything, everyone is in Ambal. Ambal is everything. Ambal is everyone. Chit Shakti, Chetana Rupa, Jada Shakti, Jadatmika. If I cannot see Ambal in all these things, it means I am not spiritually progressed. If you introduce what is 25 minus 50, if you ask a third grader, what is 25 minus 50? He has not been taught. He has not been taught negative numbers. If you ask your son or daughter, what is 25 minus 15, when they have not taught, they will say, no, this sum is not correct. This problem is not correct because my teacher has not taught me yet. Just because the teacher has not taught that concept yet, it does not mean the concept is not there. It means the child has not grown enough. In the same way, we have to work our way through the spiritual ladder so much that we should start seeing Ambal in everything. We should start seeing Bhagavat Swarupam in everything. That is what Sri Rudram says. नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनान्ये दिशां च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय त्विषीमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्लुषाय विव्याधिनेन्नानां पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यः सस्पिञ्जरेभ्यः वृक्षः ट्री सस्पिञ्जरः means herbs, even small grass. In Sri Rudram Veda says, hey Bhagavan, he who is in the form of a tree, namaskarams to you. He who is in the form of a grass, namaskarams to you. He who is in the form of a thief, taskarayacha, namaskaram to you. He who is in the form of a killer, namaskaram to you. He who is in the form of a ratha, namaskarams to you. He who is in the form of a carpenter who makes that ratha, namaskarams to you. Sri Rudram tells namaskaram, namo, 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 namo to all the Vishwarupa entity of Parameshwara. That is what we have to develop. We should start seeing each and every entity as Bhagavat Swarupam, because Bhagavan is Chitchaktihi, Chetana Rupa, Jada Shaktihi, Jadatmika. Next nama, next line. Gayatri Vyahriti Sandhya Dvijabrinda Nishevita. Gayatri Vyahritihi Sandhya Dvijabrinda Nishevita. 4 namas are there. Gayatri, Gayantam Trayate iti Gayatri. Gayatri is a mantra. The mantra, the Gayatri mantra that we chant, that is called as Gayatri mantra. Gayatri, it is a chandas. It is a meter. It has got 24 aksharas. And the aksharathula irukkiradhukku peru Gayatri nu peru. Chaturvigum Shatyakshara Tripada. The 3 lines, it has got 8, 8, 8. 8 lines in the first, 8 letters in the first line, 8 letters in the middle line, 8 letters in the third line. So 3 times 8, 24. That is called as Gayatri meter. The mantra that we say itself is called as Gayatri. Tat, the mantra that starts with Tat Shabda. I'm not going to chant out that mantra out loud, but we all know that mantra. So Tat, the line that starts with Tat. Bhargaha, Bargo, abdin solra and the line. Dhiyo, abdin solra and the line. These 3 lines are called as Gayatri mantra, because the mantra is in the form of Gayatri Chandas. That is called as, this mantra itself is called as Gayatri mantra. Actually, the name of the original name of this mantra is called as Savitri mantra, but we call it as Gayatri mantra because it is in the Chandas of Gayatri. The first line, Om Bhur Bhuva Suvaha, that is not a part of Gayatri mantra. That is called as a Vyahritihi. We will see about Vyahriti in the next nama. But the mantra, the actual Gayatri mantra starts with Tat Shabda. Ambal is in the form of Gayatri mantra. Gayantam Trayate ite Gayatri abdin sonno. The one which protects, tra, to protect the chanters is called as Gayatri. If we chant Ambal's nama, then Ambal will also protect us. That is why Ambal is also called as Gayatri. And the Gayatri mantra, Ambal is in the form of Gayatri mantra as well. Gayatri mantra, Mahaprabhu says, it cannot be, it should not be chanted out loud. In order to chant Gayatri mantra, people have to undergo a process called as Upanayanam. Upa Samipe Nayatiti Upanayanam. The person has to ritually taken towards a guru, and only then the Gayatri mantra can be chanted. What is the meaning of Gayatri mantra? Okay, now many people will ask, if we say, okay, Gayatri mantra is only for those people who has undergone the process of Upanayana. Next question is, how about all those people who don't have Upanayana? We won't even have that question if we see the meaning of Gayatri mantra. In our Sanatana Dharma, we never pray for ourselves. In our Sanatana Dharma, we never pray for ourselves. Always the prayer is for everybody that is surrounding us. Because if I pray for myself, only I will be happy. If I pray for the entire Jagat, then because I am also inside the Jagat, I also will be happy. All the other people also will be happy. That is what the Gayatri mantra prays. தத்து சவிதுஹு, that சவித்து, அந்த இதுலயே சவித்துன்னு வந்ததுனால தான் அதுக்கு பேரு சவிதா, சவித்ரு மந்திரம்னு பேரு. காயத்ரி மந்த்ரா, வாட் டஸ் இட் பிரேஸ்? தியஹா யஹா நஹா prachodayat. Let that brilliant light kindle our intellect. Dhiyaha yaha naha prachodayat. Prachodayat, kindle. Dhiyaha prachodayat, let that kindle the intellect of who? Not my intellect, but our intellect. Dhiyaha yaha naha. Naha means our. Let that kindle our intellect. So if one person chants Gayatri mantra, the palan will not go only to him. It is going to go for all the people. People who love him, people who hate him, people who praise him, people who abuse him. The palan will go for everybody. That is why Gayatri mantra is a very, 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 very special mantra. It, மகாபெரியவா சொல்றா, மனசுல காமம் புகறதுக்கு முன்னாடி காயத்ரி புகுந்துடணும், பூனல சீக்கிரமாவே போட்டணும். There are rules at what age you should do the Upanayanam process. We cannot just combine Upanayanam with marriage and do. It has to be done at that level, because it is not only going to be good for that person, it is going to be good for all the people that are surrounding that person. Gayatri Vyahritihi. So one more point about Gayatri is, I said Gayatri mantra has got 3 padas, Tripada Gayatri abdin sonnom illaya. So Purana story says, even Veda says, each pada is taken from each Veda. The first line is taken from Rig Veda. The second line is taken from Yajur Veda. The third line is taken from Samaveda. So Gayatri mantra is the Veda Sara. Gayatrim Chandasam Mata Idam Brahma Jushasvanaha. Gayatri is the mother of all the Vedas, and Gayatri is the crux. Gayatri is the is the essence of all the Vedas. Gayatri. And then Vyahritihi. What is Vyahritihi? Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. These 3 are called as Vyahriti mantras. There are also Sapta Vyahritis. Om Bhuhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Suvaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam. Abdin solradhukku 7 Vyahriti, that is called as Sapta Vyahriti. But main are these 3 Vyahritis. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. Even these 3 Vyahritis is taken from one Veda. The first Vyahriti is taken from Rig Veda. Second Vyahriti taken from Yajur Veda. Third Vyahriti is taken from Samaveda. And that is why we chant Gayatri mantra along with the Pranava, the Vyahriti, and then the actual Gayatri mantra. So first we say Om, the Pranava mantra, and then we say Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, the Vyahriti mantra, and then we start with Tat. So these 3, that is what we normally do the Japam of, but that mantra is comprised of these 3 things: Gayatri, Vyahriti, and then Pranava. Vyahriti is Putikara, meaning Vyahriti, it purifies everything. According to Shastra, the Vyahriti mantra, it removes all the impurities. It removes the spiritual impurities from any object. That is why when we do Parishechanam, we say Om Bhurbhuvassuvaha, we sprinkle water, we say Om Bhurbhuvassuvaha, because that is going to purify the food. Om Bhurbhuvassuvarom. இது நிறைய கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பேன். வாத்தியார் நிறைய சொல்லுவா, ஓம் பூர்புவஸ்துவரோம், ஓம் பூர்புவஸ்துவரோம், பூர்புவஸ்துவோ, பூர்புவஸ்துவோ, பூர்புவஸ்துவா, பூஸ்வாஹா, புவஸ்வாஹா, ஸ்வஸ்வாஹா, பூர்புவஸ்துவஸ்வாஹா. நிறைய ஹோமத்துல எல்லாம் இந்த வியாகிருத்தியோட பிரயோகம் வரும். நிறைய பண்றதுல இந்த வியாகிருதி புண்ணியாஜனம் பண்ணாலே பூர்புவஸ்துவோ, பூர்புவஸ்துவோ, பூர்புவஸ்துவஹா அப்படின்னு the Vadyar will sprinkle that water. Why? Because the Vyahriti mantra has got capacity to purify each and everything that are surrounding us. That is why even before doing puja, we can purify, all the puja vastus. When we are eating, we purify all the food. It can be done by everybody. Just take some water, chant Om Bhurbhuvasvaha, and then sprinkle the water, and then sprinkle the food with water. and then it is going to purify the food. All the rajasic and tamasic energies in the food, they will be removed, and we can eat the food, and then we can have sattvic lifestyle. Vyahritihi. And then Sandhya. Sandhya, it represents a time. Sandhi, abdina, the joining of two things is called as Sandhi. Sandhyopasanam, abdin solron. In normally when we say Sandhyopasanam, it is the Sandhya Vandanam that we do. But there is a Vedic Sandhyopasanam itself. It comes in Taittiriya Upanishad. That Upasana is called as Sandhyopasana. So a joining of two things is called as Sandhi. When morning and afternoon joins, when night and the morning joins, it is called as Pratha Sandhya, during sunrise. When the sun is present just above our head, that is where the forenoon and afternoon joins. And when the evening and the night joins, that is called as Sayam Sandhya. That is why we do Sandhya Vandanam on all these three times. Pratha Sandhya, Madhyanikam, and Sayam Sandhya. So Ambal is in the form of Sandhya, the Devi. Each Sandhya is governed by a Devi, and Ambal is in the form of all the Devis that govern the Sandhya time. That is why Ambal is called as Sandhya. Sandhya also refers to the process of Sandhya Vandanam, Sandhyopasanam, adukku perum Sandhyana peru. So Ambal is in the form of Sandhya Vandanam as well. People who take to Sri Vidyopasana, they will say, I chant Panchadashi mantra, I chant Shodashi mantra, I do this many times of Shodashi mantra a day. Okay, have you done your Sandhya Vandanam? No. Appadinu sonna, I don't know how much effect the Shodashi Purascharanam will have on that person. If we don't do Sandhya Vandanam, any yajnam, even if you do yajnam, they say the yajnam will not give you any result. Sandhya Vandanam is like that fuse. In our houses, we have something called as fuse. The breaker trip, all the other things, all the other karma that we do is like light, fan, air condition, etc. If the fuse wire is burned, how much costly equipment you have, the equipment is of no use. In the same way, you can do Rajasuya Yaga, you can do Soma Yaga, you can do Agnishtoma Yaga, you can do Sri Chakra Pujana, you can do Japam of Panchadasakshari, Shodashi, Paduka, Mahapaduka, anything you do without a Sandhya Vandanam, it is as good as those equipments without any electricity. Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Mantram is that electricity which makes all the other things work. So we have to be very, very careful. Do the Sandhya Vandanam properly. Again, when we do Sandhya Vandanam, when we chant Gayatri Japam, we just don't chant things for ourselves, but we pray for all the people that are surrounding us. That is the very, 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 very important thing. When we do Sandhya Vandanam, we don't pray for just our goodness. We pray for all the things that are surrounding us. They say Sandhya Vandanam is the best social service that one can do. It purifies everything. It purifies you. It purifies you. It purifies the people, those are surrounding you. It even purifies the people who hate you, so that they will start loving you. So Sandhya Vandanam is a very, 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 very important, most basic karma that has to be done. Or solluvar, ஒரு ஜியர் அகோபிலம் அடுத்த ஜியர் சொல்லுவார், ஸ்திரீகள்லாம் புருஷால் சந்தியாவந்தனம் பண்ணேன்னா சாதம் போட மாட்டேன்னு சொல்லுங்க அப்படிம்பார். He will say, the wives, they can ask their husbands and sons to do Sandhya Vandanam, and they say, okay, I'm going to give you food only if you do Sandhya Vandanam. அவர் சொல்லுவார். ஸோ அதெல்லாம் நம்ம ஃபாலோ பண்ணிக்கலாம். சந்தியா. நெக்ஸ்ட் இஸ் Dvija Brinda Nishevita. Dvija Brinda Nishevita. As I said before, the Gayatri Mantra prerequisite is to do Upanayanam. And the process, and that person who has undergone this process of Upanayanam is called as a Dvija. Ja, Dvija. Ja, to be born. The person is born. That is why he is called as Ja. Janma, Jananam, Janani, Jadakam. இதெல்லாம் சொல்றோம் இல்லையா? இதெல்லாம் வந்து the born, to be born, and the birth அப்படிங்கிறதுலாம் வந்து இருக்கு. Dvija, because this person is twice born. That is why he is called as Dvija. What is meant by twice born? The first birth is from this mother. The first birth is from his mother. So that is why that is the first birth. The second birth is during the Upanayanam. When a person undergoes the process of Upanayanam, then this person is born again. Adanaladan those people are called as Dvija. Dvija does not refer only to Brahmanas. Dvija refer to all Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishyas. Because all these three groups, they can undergo the process of Upanayanam and they are called as Dvija. And Gayatri, Vyahriti, Sandhya, these are worshipped by the Dvijas, and that is why here it says Dvija Brinda Nishevita. Nishevita, worshipped by Dvija Brinda, the group of Dvijas. Ambal as Gayatri is being worshipped by the group of Dvijas. When I wanted to say Dvija, I have to mention this. In Tamil, there is a beautiful word for Dvija. In Tamil, there is a beautiful word. It is a nice translation. It conveys the same concept as Dvija. The word is called as Parpanar. Tamil Parpanar abdin solva. The word Parpanar, it got a negative connotation, but it's actually not a negative word. In fact, this word has been used from Sangakala. Sangakala Tamilliye இந்த பார்ப்பனருங்கிற வார்த்தை இருக்கு. What is meant by பார்ப்பனர்? Excuse me. What is meant by பார்ப்பனர்? A bird is called as பார்ப்பு in Tamil. A bird, a snake, they all are called as பார்ப்பு because all the bird, snake, etc., they all are Dvija. How? Because they come from their mother as their egg. So that is the first birth. And then from the egg, the animal comes out. The bird comes out. So that is the second birth. So a bird, a hen, they all have two births. One from their mother, one the egg that comes out of their mother, and then the offspring that comes out of the egg. So that is why all the birds can be called as Dvijas. In Tamil, the birds are called as Parpu. A snake can also be called as Parpu in Tamil. அதனாலதான் தமிழ் அந்த பார்ப்பனருங்கிற வார்த்தைய they use it for Brahmanas because Brahmanas are Dvijas. They are twice born. So it is not a negative word. It is actually a positive word. It is used in Sangakalam. It is used from the times of Sangam literature as well. If you take Sangam literature, they use a lot of, when they want to denote Brahmanas, they use this word Parpanar. So Dvija Brinda Nishevita. Next shloka, shloka number 91. Tattvasana Tattvamayi Panchakoshantarasthita Nissima Mahima Nitya Yavana Madashalini. Tattvasana. Tattvam and Asanam is called as Tattvasana. What is Tattvam? Tattvam is something which can never be translated. There are several words in Sanskritam which can never be translated, which can never be 100. Even when you translate, it won't make much sense for other people. It won't convey the fullest meaning. Tattvam is one such word. It has got a lot of meaning. Tattvam means a philosophy. Tattvam means a Mahavakya. Tatu tvam asi அப்படின்னு இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதையே தத்துவம்னு சொல்லுவா. Tattvam also means some irreductibles. What is meant by irreductibles? I have this cell phone with me. I have this cell phone with me. But the cell phone is not the basic entity. The cell phone has got several parts. The cell phone is made up of several metals. So you can reduce the cell phone to metals. So that metals are called as Tattvam. Then the metals can be reduced to atoms. And that atoms can be reduced to electrons, protons. And that even that can be reduced to subatomic particles. So when we go that way, the final point beyond which you cannot reduce something, அப்படிங்கிற அந்த பாயிண்ட்டுக்கு பேரு தத்துவம்னு பேர். Hope you guys can understand. That thing which cannot be reduced further, you know, the most fundamental building block of things that are surrounding us is called as tattvam. According to science, the tattvam varies with time. When I studied physics, they said atoms are the basic entity. Atom can never be destroyed nor be made. Atoms can never be created nor be destroyed, blah, blah, blah. And then they said, okay, atoms has electrons, protons, and neutrons. And then they say even electron is made up of something else. So the tattvam for science, it changes with discovery of new phenomena. But according to our Shastra, there are 36 tattvas. There are 36 tattvas according to our Shastra. The Pancha Mahabhutas, the Pancha Jnanendriyas, the Pancha Karmendriyas, Manam, Manaha, Ahankaram, Buddhi, Prakriti, all these are called as 24 Jada tattvas. The Pancha Mahabhutas, we all know what are Pancha Mahabhutas. The Jnanendriyas, organs of knowledge. Karmendriyas, organs of actions. Organs of knowledge, organs of action. The kann is not the tattvam, but the power of seeing, the power of hearing, the power of listening, that is the tattva. Kai mattuna kaiye vettitu iddan tattvaman kekapradhu, but the power of moving things, the power of going from one place to another, the power of speak, that is a tattva. So Panchamahabhutas, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Manam, mind, Ahankaram, I-ness, and Buddhi, intellect, and Prakriti, Mahat Prakriti, these are called as, these are 24 tattvas. And then there comes Jiva, Niyati, Kala, Raga, Kala, Vidya, Maya. So these are called as 7 Maya tattvas. And then there are 5 Shiva tattvas: Shuddha Vidya, Ishvara, Sadashiva, Shakti, and Shiva. I'm not going very deep into that. I'm just telling the names because people can be interested in remembering the names. So these are called as 36 tattvas. Depending upon the school, some school will have 24 tattvas, some school will have 25 tattvas. Shakta Vidya, the tattva is different. The Atma tattva, Shiva tattva, all these things are different. But Ambal is tattva asana. Asana having that as a seat. Asanam na seat laya. Ambal sits on all the tattva. Meaning what? All the tattva, they are subservient to Ambal. If mele eri ukkandukiraduna na subservient aakikiradunu artham. So tattvasana Ambal takes care of. Ambal is the superior entity over all these tattvas, tattvasana. And the next nama, Tattvamayi. In fact, this word is consisting of 3 namas, even though it looks like it is one word, but it has 3 namas because there is another instances where Tattvamayi comes. In Lalita Sahasranama, no 2 namas are repeated, right? So this nama, this word Tattvamayi is split into 3 namas. What are the 3 namas? Tat, Tvam, Ayi. தத்து அர்ச்சனை பண்றச்சே தஸ்மை நமஹா அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். அர்ச்சனை பண்றச்சே தஸ்மை நமஹா, துவம் நமஹா, ஐயை நமஹா அப்படின்னு பிரிக்கணும். தத்து துவம் ஐ, அதான் தத்துவமயி அப்படின்னு வந்துருது. வாட் இஸ் தத்து இன் சம்ஸ்கிருதம், இன் சாஸ்திராஸ்? whenever the word tatu comes, whenever the word tatu means that, whenever the word tatu comes without any qualifier, it refers to Paramatma. This is something that we all have to have it in our mind. Whenever the word tatu comes, tatu means that. Whenever the word tatu comes in Shastra without any context, it has not described that context, or the context is ambiguous abdina, கண்ணை மூடிண்டு தத்து ஈக்குவல் டு பரமாத்மா அப்படின்னு ஆன்சர் எழுதிடலாம். ஸோ தத்து மீன்ஸ் பரமாத்மா. அம்பாள் இஸ் பிரசன்ட் ஆஸ் பரமாத்மா. அம்பாள் இஸ் பரமாத்மா. ஸோ தஸ்மை நமஹா. அம்பாள் இஸ் that. And then tvam. Whenever the word tvam comes in Shastra without qualifier, it refers to Jivatma. Tat tvam asi. Remember the Mahavakya. Tatvamasi. What is Tatvamasi? Tat tvam asi. Tat that. Tvam you asi are. You are that. அப்படிங்கிறதா அந்த மகாவாக்கியம். So tat means Paramatma. Tvam means Jivatma. You know, that conscious entity that we associate with our body. That is called as Jivatma, right? So Tvam literally means you. Tasmai namaha, namaskarams to that. Tvam namaha, namaskarams to you. What is meant by that to you? You have to understand that concept. Tat namaskarams to Paramatma. Tvam namaskarams to that Paramatma who shines in person's heart as Jivatma. Tat tvam ayyai namaha. I means amma nartham. Even in Tamil, the word I, they all refers to mother. Kattayi, Pechiyayi, அப்படின்லாம் தமிழ்ல பேர் உண்டு. Pechu plus ஆயி. The mother of the speech is called as Pechiyayi. Vagishwari, Ishwari, mother. Vagishwari அப்படின்னு சம்ஸ்கிருதத்துல சொல்றதோட exact translation தான் Pechayi அப்படிங்கிறது. So ஆயி means mother. So tatu tvam ayi. Tatu namaskarams to that Paramatma. Tvam namaskarams to the Paramatma who shines as Jivatma. And ayyai namaha, namaskarams to that mother. So tatu tvam ayi அப்படின்னு பிரிச்சுக்கணும் இந்த வேர்டை. But these are not the only meanings for these namas. In fact, if we take Bhaskaracharya's Bhashyam, Bhaskaracharya gives lot of other meanings. We are not teaching all the meanings that Bhaskaracharya tells. But because it is going to be long and it requires lot of prerequisites to understand certain concepts. But I'm just telling some interesting namas which can be easily remembered. Interesting meanings which can be easily remembered. The word Tattvamayi, the namas Tatu Tvam Ayim, also refers to the relationship between the Bhakta and the Devata. The nama Tattvamayi, Tasmai Tubhyam Ayyai, Tasmai Namaha Tubhyam Namaha Ayyai Namaha. It refers to the relationship, the progressive relationship between the Bhakta and the Devata with the due course of time. How initially we don't know who is Bhagavan, right? When we are born, we don't know who is Bhagavan. And the parents will teach us, okay, ange Umachi irkar, Umachiki poi namaskaram pannu. So normally the parents will teach them. So we only know Bhagavan as a third person. Meaning Bhagavan enga irkar? Ange irkar. Bhagavan Kailasathla irkar. Ambal is in Srinagara. Mahavishnu is in Vaikunta. He is not present anywhere. He is only present there. What is Bhagavan? Bhagavan is he. We only say he. He normally means third person. And according to grammar, we only use third person to the people who are not present right now. If you are interacting with them, to who we are not interacting, that is the third person. We use the second person for people who we interact with normally. So the moment we use the third person, it automatically means we don't interact with him directly, but through somebody else. It can be your parents, it can be a guru, it can be a pustaka, it can be anything. But we are not interacting with Bhagavan directly. So tat, that means the initial interaction of Bhakta with Bhagavan as a third person. Bhagavan is present somewhere. I don't know whether to believe him or not, but my parents say worship Bhagavan. But you know, Vedas say Bhagavana namaskaram pannu. Even me, I practically see when I do namaskarams to Bhagavan, good things happen to me. But I still have not seen that Bhagavan. So tat, he is present somewhere. And then tvam, As the bhakti increases, we don't talk to Bhagavan in third person, but we talk to Bhagavan as a second person. What is second person? You present in front of me. He is not present anywhere, but he is present right in front of me. I deal with Bhagavan directly. I don't need somebody else to introduce me to Bhagavan. I don't need somebody else to make me believe in Bhagavan. So, the relationship between the Bhakta and the Bhagavan increases as the Bhakti progresses. So, the same person who said he is somewhere, now the same person, he says, okay, you are here. என் கண் முன்னாடி வந்து நிற்கிற புரஸ்தாதாஸ்தாம்னஹா புரமதிது ராஹோ புருஷிகா புரஸ்தாதாஸ்தாம்னான்னு கம் ரைட் சிட் இன் ஃப்ரண்ட் ஆஃப் மீ சிட் ரைட் இன் ஃப்ரண்ட் ஆஃப் மீ அப்படிங்கிறோம் இல்லையா அதான் புரஸ்தாதாஸ்தாம்னஹான்னு சொல்றார் ஆச்சாரியால் சௌந்தர லஹரியில. So he becomes you. Third person becomes the second person as bhakti progresses. So tasmai namaha, namaskarams to that, and tvam namaha, namaskarams to you. But then as the time progresses, even when we say you, there is a sense of formality. Normally when we say you, நீங்கள் அப்படின்னா ஒரு அந்நியமா இருக்கும். There is a formality. It is a formal relationship. But when you say mother, it is not a formal relationship. It is an informal relationship. In fact, it is a natural relationship. Nobody needs to show me who is my mother. In fact, it is my mother who even introduces my father to me. Nobody needs to introduce my own mother to me. Even the doctor, when he takes away the baby will stop crying. The baby has not opened its eyes. The baby's brain is not developed, but the baby can detect its own mother. The baby can identify the baby's own mother without need for any introduction, because it is a natural relationship, the most natural as it can get to. In the same way, when you say you, there is a sense of formality. There is a distance between, there is still a distance between ourselves and Bhagavan. And as bhakti progresses from that to you, it has to progress from you to my mother, because we never have a sense of formality with our mother. It is the most natural relationship. There is no need for any customs or anything between you and your mother. With any other relationship, there is a boundary, but between the mother and the son or daughter, there is no boundaries. In the same way, the bhakti, it goes from the most formal to the most natural as time progresses, as you yourself becomes mature enough. And the progression, this namas, these three namas, tattvamayi, tasmai namaha, namaskarams to that, tvam namaha, namaskarams to you, ayyai namaha, namaskarams to my mother, tattvasana, tattvamayi. In Vaikhanasa Agama, there are two major Vaishnava Agamas. Shaiva Agamas, they say 24 or 25 in number, or they even say 36 Shaiva Agamas. I don't remember the exact numbers. There are two major Vaishnava Agamas, Pancharatram and Vaikhanasam. Pancharatra and Vaikhanasa. Tirupati Perumalna Vaikhanasam Agamathilna irukku. In Vaikhanasa, they actually tell this progression. Tasyaivaham, Twayaivaham, Twamevaham. Tasyaivaham, I am him. I am Bhagavan. Vaikhanasa is very, very close to Advaita. Mahapariva says in Deivathin Kural, and I don't know if he says in Deivathin Kural, but he has expressed this in several private conversations with individuals. So Vaikhanasa, it accepts Tattvamasi Mahavakya. It is Advaita philosophy only. So Tasyaivaham, I am Bhagavan, somewhere else. Twayaivaham, I am you. Twamevaham. Twayaivaham, there is a second person plural. You give with respect. Twamevaham, second person singular. There is no there is no formality that is needed. I am you அப்படின்னு அந்த சீரியஸை வந்து வைகானச ஆகமத்திலையும் வருது. அதே இங்க பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா வாக்தேவிஸ் have expressed. தஸ்யை நமஹ த்வயை நமஹ त्वं नमः अय्यै नमः. So तस्यै नमः त्वं नमः अय्यै नमः. तत्त्वमसि तत्त्वासना तत्त्वमयि पंचकोशांतर स्थिता. Again, पंचकोश अंतर स्थिता. स्थिता to be present. स्थिता to be present. अंतर स्थिता to be present inside. कोशांतर स्थिता to be present inside certain koshas. Koshas means coverings. What coverings? Pancha kosha antarasthita. Ambal is present in inside of 5 coverings, says this Upanishad. What are those coverings? The தரையெல்லாம் போட்டிருப்பாளே அந்த மாதிரி கவரிங் ஆனா இல்ல. Shastra says, Upanishad says, the entire human body is made up of pancha koshas, 5 coverings. Those who have studied Viveka Chudamani or any basic Vedantic text, they will know. Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha. Annamaya kosha, the physical body that we see, which is made up of food. Because our body is made up of food. You know, the carbon that we eat becomes carbon that is present inside the cells. So that is Annamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha means the physiological body. The physical body is there. Just because the physical body is there, it does not mean the body has to be alive. Even in a dead body, the physical body is there, but that body is not alive because it has lost its physiological body. Shastra talks about another body, physiological body. Pranamaya kosha. Manomaya kosha. Mind. Shastra talks about that as a covering. Mind. Vijnanamaya kosha, our intelligence, our intellect. Mind is a doubting faculty. Our intelligence is nischayatmaka buddhi. The one which reassures is our intelligence. Mind always doubts. So our mind, intellect, and then Anandamaya kosha, which is called as Mula Vidya, which body that we enjoy during our deep sleep state. When we are waking up, we enjoy this physical body. But when we are dreaming, we don't enjoy this body, but we still are in contact with the Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya. But when we are in deep sleep state, we are neither aware of this body. We are neither in contact with the Prana, Mano, and the Vijnanamaya kosha, but we are in contact with Anandamaya kosha. That is why when we wake up the next day, somebody asks you, hey, how did you sleep? We say, okay, I slept very, 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 very nicely. So that is called as Anandamaya kosha. Ambal is the Atma Tattvam, which is beyond the Anandamaya kosha as well. Etam annamaya atmanam upasankramya, etam pranamaya atmanam upasankramya, etam manomaya atmanam upasankramya, etam vijnanamaya atmanam upasankramya, etam anandamaya atmanam upasankramya. அப்படின்னு தைத்திரிய உபநிஷத்துல வருது. More about this nama, we will continue this discussion in the next class as well. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.